God's garden oasis, where every bloom is perfect. God sees us not just as we are, but as we will be. God's garden oasis, where every bloom is perfect. God sees us not just as we are, but as we will be.
You know, today, God's garden oasis is not quite as warm as normal. I can actually see my breath a little bit as we're recording. That's because it's snowing outside, and this room is not truly heated. Do you find yourself becoming impatient when you have to wait? It seems like I go to the grocery store, and if I'm in a hurry, I end up in the longest line there is. Or if I'm ready to go somewhere and I'm excited about getting there, it seems like my family is often not quite as quick about getting there as I want them to be. I'm Nancy Hammond, and this is God's Garden Oasis. Waiting. God gives us a lot of instruction about waiting. It's important to Him that we develop that ability. To wait means to pause or to delay an activity, to put kind of a stop to it for a while. And we can begin it again, but for right now, it's stopped. One of the things that I love, one of the applications is a Bible Gateway. And it is just such a wonderful opportunity. And I don't know what you use when you're trying to look up scripture, but for me, this is a great one. Our first reading for today is Lamentations chapter 3, verse 25. And what it says is, "The Lord is good to those who wait for Him, to the soul who seeks Him." While we're waiting, we don't need to be off busy doing other things all the time. We should be keeping our mind on Him and seeking Him and His will. We never know when He's going to be ready for us to move forward. In Habakkuk, and that's chapter 2, verse 3, it says, "For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay." And then in Psalms chapter 33, verse 20, it says, "Our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. He is always there for protection for difficult times." And as we wait, we don't have to be vulnerable while we wait, because we will be shielded by God. And finally, we've talked about the Old and New Testament. Those first three readings that we had were all from the Old Testament. But in the last one, it's James chapter 5, verse 7, says, "Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it until it receives the early and the late rains." Farming is often talked about in Scripture because that was a big part of how people lived back then. And so they would understand that whole idea of sowing the seed and waiting for it, and the watering and the pruning and all those kinds of things. That was not unusual to them. They could easily understand what was being said. And our final verse for today is Galatians chapter 5, verse 5, which says, "For through the Spirit by faith, we ourselves eagerly wait for the hope of righteousness." We eagerly wait. When do you have to wait? And how do you handle waiting? Are you like me, where you get kind of impatient and have to keep practicing that skill? Or is it something that is easy for you? Is it a gift that God has given you, that ability to wait? Oh, if it is, I think that's wonderful. Lord, thank you for helping me to wait for answers and for my spiritual growth. I know that you have a plan, and I know all things will come in your timing. Help me to wait patiently. Have a great day.